Hello everyone, now let us discuss about the significance of salt form of drug. Most of the drugs are either weak acids or weak bases, and one of the easiest approaches to enhance the solubility and dissolution rate of such drugs is to convert them into their salt forms. In general, for a weakly acidic drug such as barbiturates and sulfonamides, a strong base salt is prepared such as of sodium or potassium. For weak acid, a strong base salt is produced. And for weakly basic drugs such as several alkaloid drugs, a strong acidic salt is prepared such as of hydrochloride or sulfate salts. And at a given pH, the solubility of the drug, whether it is acidic or basic or its salt form, is constant. At a given pH, the solubility is constant, whether the drug is acidic or basic or if it is present in its salt form. And the dissolution rate of a particular salt is usually different from that of the parent compound. Sodium and potassium salts of weak acidic drugs, they dissolve more rapidly than their free acids. This is important point. The sodium and potassium salts of weak acidic drugs dissolve more rapidly than their free acids, regardless of the pH of the dissolution medium. Whether the pH is of acidic environment or alkaline environment, the sodium and potassium salts of weak acidic drugs, they dissolve more rapidly than their free acids. And the dissolution of a salt can be explained by considering the pH of the diffusion layer. The pH of the diffusion layer surrounding each particle at a given bulk pH is always greater for sodium and potassium salt of a weak acidic drug than the corresponding free acid. That is, diffusion layer is the layer which surrounds the drug particle. So the pH of the diffusion layer is always greater than the bulk pH in case of sodium and potassium salt of weak acidic drugs. This is because of the neutralizing action of strong alkali cations, sodium and potassium, present in the diffusion layer. Because of the neutralizing action of the strong alkali cations, the pH of the diffusion layer of a weakly acidic drug, salt form of weakly acidic drug, is increased. And owing to the increased pH of the diffusion layer, the solubility and the dissolution rate of the weakly acidic drug is promoted in that layer. Due to increasing the pH of the diffusion layer, the solubility and dissolution rates of that weakly acidic drug are promoted. Because as we all know that the higher pH favors dissolution of weakly acidic drugs. This is also a ground rule. Higher pH favors the dissolution of a weakly acidic drug. I am not talking about absorption. We are talking about dissolution. Higher pH favors dissolution of weakly acidic drugs. Coming to strong basic salts of weak acids. That is sodium salt or potassium salt of weak acids. Enhanced dissolution enhances the absorption. So generally H plus D is the hydrogen ion concentration of diffusion layer and H plus B is the hydrogen ion concentration of the bulk layer. And for the salts of, in general, for the salts of weak acids, the hydrogen ion concentration in the diffusion layer is lesser than the hydrogen ion concentration in the bulk layer. Hydrogen ion concentration in the diffusion layer is lesser than the hydrogen ion concentration in the bulk layer. This is for weak acids, salts of weak acids. So this is the overall pictorial representation of diffusion of a salt of weak acid. So this is the salt of weak acid. As we have discussed earlier, this is the diffusion layer. The red color one is the diffusion layer. And the pH of the diffusion layer is higher. It is around 5 to 6 than the bulk of the solution. The bulk of the solution, the pH is 1 to 3, whereas the diffusion layer, the pH is higher, 5 to 6, because of the neutralizing action of strong alkali cations like potassium and sodium. And due to higher pH of the diffusion layer, diffusion of the soluble drug particles occurs. Dissolution of the soluble drug particle occurs. So it can be of soluble form. The soluble form of the drug, it easily passes the blood-brain barrier, or whenever the soluble ionic form of the drug diffuses the stagnant diffusion layer into the bulk of the solution whose pH is low, it is transformed into its free acidic form having less aqueous solubility at a lower pH of bulk of the solution. So when the salt form it diffuses out, it is transformed into its free acidic form, and as a result the drug is precipitated in the form of very fine wetted particles in the gastric fluid. Because here the solubility of drug is low, it is precipitated in the form of fine particles, and these fine wetted particles, they increase the effective surface area, and due to the result of increased effective surface area, rapid dissolution will occur and drug will be present in the solution form. Because of that also, the absorption, the dissolution rate and followed by the absorption is enhanced. So this is the overall pictorial representation of salt of a weak acid. The important point is, in case of salts of weak acid, the diffusion layer always has higher pH than the bulk of the solution. Examples are, the marked difference has been observed in the rate and the extent of absorption of novabiocin. The bioavailability of the drug after oral administration of sodium salt is twice that of the calcium salt and 50 times that of the free acid. And similarly, the potassium salt of penicillin V produces a higher peak plasma level followed by calcium salt and then by its free form. Coming to the strong acidic salts of weak bases. Now let us discuss about weakly basic drugs. In case of strong acidic salts of weak basic drugs, due to the presence of strong acid anions like chloride ions in the diffusion layer around the drug particle, the pH of that layer is lower than the bulk of the solution, whether it is gastric or intestinal pH. In case of strong acidic salts of weak bases, the pH of the diffusion layer is lesser or lower than the bulk of the solution, which is opposite that of the salts of weak acids. So here, for salts of weak bases, the hydrogen ion concentration in the diffusion layer is greater than that of the bulk of the solution. And this lower pH of the diffusion layer increases the solubility of drug, of the weakly basic drug in the diffusion layer. So this is the overall pictorial representation of weakly basic drug, the salt of a weak base. Here, the diffusion layer pH is lower than the bulk of the solution. The lower pH will increase the saturation solubility of the drug, and hence, after oral administration of the salt form of a weak base, the dissolution of the drug occurs before it passes into the small intestine, where the pH conditions are less favorable for the dissolution of weak bases. Hence, because of the use of strong acidic salt form of the weak base, they generally ensure that stomach emptying is the rate limiting step for the absorption of such drug and not the dissolution rate. In case of weakly basic drugs, the stomach emptying or gastric emptying is the rate limiting step for the absorption. Coming to the next principle, in situ salt formation. The principle of in situ salt formation has been utilized to enhance the dissolution and absorption rate of certain drugs like aspirin and penicillin from buffered alkaline tablets. In case of in situ salt formation, the principal idea is to increase the pH of the microenvironment, so that the alkaline diffusion layer is formed around the drug particle. And this alkaline diffusion layer, it enhances the dissolution. So this is the basic principle. Coming to buffered aspirin tablets, the presence of aluminium dihydroxyl amino acetate and the magnesium carbonate in the aspirin tablets is found to increase the dissolution rate of aspirin. In addition to the enhanced dissolution rate, the buffered aspirin tablets also have two more advantages. The gastric irritation and the ulcerogenic tendency of the drug is reduced, and the problem with the use of sodium salt of aspirin. Usually sodium salt of aspirin is used to enhance the solubility, but it has a disadvantage that it has poor hydrolytic stability. So the problem with the use of sodium salt of aspirin, which has poor hydrolytic stability, is overcome by in situ salt formation. The next important point is selection of appropriate salt form is also important, because, for example, it has been shown that the choline and the isopropanol amine salts of theophylline, they dissolve 3 to 4 times more rapidly than the ethylene diamine salt and show better bioavailability. So first we have to select which salt shows good bioavailability before formulating the formulation. There are certain cases in which the salts show low dissolution rate. The example are aluminium salts with weak acids and the palmoate salts of weak bases. They have low aqueous solubilities and the dissolution rate. The main reason is whether in case of aluminium salts of weak acids or palmoate salts of weak bases, the insoluble film of aluminium hydroxide or palmoic acid is formed on the drug particles, and these insoluble films, they reduce the rate of dissolution, and this principle is used in formulating the palmoate salt of imipramine. The palmoate salt of imipramine has been marked as a slow release form. The next is the slower dissolution rates of sodium phenobarbital when compared to its free form is due to the swelling of the tablet instead of disintegration. The slower dissolution rates may also occur due to the swelling of the tablet instead of disintegration. Example is phenobarbital the free form of phenobarbital has higher dissolution when compared to the sodium phenobarbital. And similar results are seen in the case of hydrochloride salts of several tetracycline analogues and papaverine. Here also better dissolution and bioavailability was observed for free acids due to the suppression action of common ion effect. So not all salts, they form enhanced dissolution rates. There are certain salts which form dosage forms with slower dissolution rates. Another important point is the size of the counter ion is also important in the efficacy of salt form. Smaller the size of the counter ion, greater is the solubility of the salt. Example is bioavailability of novabiocin from its sodium salt, calcium salt and free acid was found to be in the ratio of 50:25:1. And whenever the size of the counter ion is very large or that counter ion has poor ionic strength, as in the case of ester form of drugs, the solubility may be much lower than the free drug itself. Example are palmoates, stearates and palmitates of weak bases. They have poor aqueous solubility. So the size of the counter ion can be used in a beneficial way also. That is, it is used to prolong the duration of action, as in the case of steroidal salts. It is used to overcome the bad taste, as in the case of chloramphenicol palmitate. And it is used to enhance the GI stability in case of erythromycin estolate. And it is also employed to decrease the side effects, whether they can be local or systemic. The one more important point is, in some cases, undesirable pharmacological responses may occur with rapid dissolution. Even in such cases also, employing salt forms is undesirable. The example is oral administration of sodium salt of tolbutamide. It reduces the blood glucose to about 65 to 75% of control levels, whereas more slowly dissolving free acid form produces a gradual decrease in blood sugar to about 80% of the control level when administered orally. And the prolonged reduction in the blood glucose level achieved by the sodium salt of tolbutamide may lead to severe hypoglycemia and even diabetic coma. Hence, the free acid form of tolbutamide is more useful form of the drug in case of diabetes. So generally salt forms are used to enhance the solubility, but there are certain cases in which the salt forms, they lower the aqueous solubility and dissolution rate, which we have discussed, and in some cases they may produce undesirable pharmacological response. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for further videos on GPAC and pharmaceutical sciences.